Now, many of you out there would be familiar with my S14 JET200. It was unveiled at the Summer Nats back in 2007, was on the TV show Blood, Sweat and Gears, was a project car for Ignition DVD and Fast Fours. It was on the front cover of Fast Fours and was also even on the front cover of a Ministry of Sound music CD. So it's a pretty well-known car. Now, I was very happy with the way the car was. It was a tough street car that you could use at the track and would even win the occasional dyno and trophy at a car show. So you're probably wondering why the car is now the bare shell that you see behind me. Now, we've all heard the stories from car owners before, how they're only supposed to do a little bit, it turned into a lot, it got out of control, blew out of proportion. Well, just like many of them, I suffer from the same car modifiers disease. Now, back at the end of 2007, the stock oil pump decided to fail when I was out at the track. So the first thing I had to do was pull the engine out of the car. Now, because Croydon were getting some new developmental parts they wanted to try on the car, it was going to take a little while. So I thought to myself, well, might as well strip out the engine bay and repaint it to match the rest of the car. Now, of course, I'm sitting around doing that and I thought to myself, well, I want to go more time attack. So I stripped out all of the interior. And before I knew it, I had a bare shell sitting in the backyard and didn't know what to do with it. So now the car's here at Custom King. We're going to get the car completely resprayed, a total new colour. It's got a full cage getting done, as well as stitch welded as well to get the car ready for its new life as a time attack machine.
Hi, I'm Chris from Killer Custom Fabrication. I'm doing all the fabrication on JET200. Step one, I guess, we cut the original parcel shelf out. We're making a full isolated parcel shelf, which will have no exit holes in case of a roll or a fuel leak. We're also fitting cross braces in between the strut towers to stiffen the back of the car up, and we'll link that completely into the 4-point chrome moly roll cage. It's lightweight, very strong. The reason we picked the 4-point cage is it is a very streetable cage. It is road registerable and engineerable in the case that he does want to engineer it. This cage, it'll still be a half cage, but it'll have extra bars put into it, like it'll have an X put between the down bars at the back. Obviously the shock towel bar will be extra just for extra stiffness. We're doing it primarily just for stiffness. I'm full gusset in the car from pillars to cage, so there'll be absolutely no cage flex or deflection in it. This car also is very lightweight and we'll be running carbon fibre doors. I suggested we put intrusion bars in it just to give one strength and safety in case of a side impact. Now the cage is complete, I'm going to run you through a few special points of the cage. I wouldn't usually do this in my other cages, but Andrew asked me to specially do it for his cages. The cross brace, heap of added strength, a strut brace from strut to strut, and extra tubes welded in under the intrusion bar. I did it for sill strength, but because the car's only a half cage, it doesn't have a full front cage in it, 6 points, only a 4-point. We tried to engineer the cage to be as strong as a 6-point, give it a bit of sill strength and chassis rigidity. This cage is a lot stiffer than a factory, like a normal, say, 4-point that I would offer just for a drag racing use. All the extra gusset in, everything's just all done for to make the car extra rigid.
Well, thanks to Chris at Killer Customs, all the chassis work's now been finished and we're back at Custom King. As you can see, the car's already prepped, ready to go, and Hussein's going to take it into the paint booth so we can get on the new paint job.
Well, I opened up around 8 months ago. I was an electrician by trade, worked there around 7-8 years, but my whole life I've always been into cars, right? And I've always relied on God and said hopefully one day I'll open up my own shop. Hey, you name it and I'll do it. They call me mate, I can do anything. That's my whole point. I used to be electrician, mechanic, you name it, airbrushing, painting, I'll do everything, you know. And that's the whole point, having fun and doing different things, you know. The only one thing I probably can't do is trim interior. That's my mate David's job, so it's alright, you know. It's funny how the car was beautiful before, and people think you're crazy that you stripped it back to this, you know. But don't worry, I think you're crazy too. Well, mate, that's our job, man. We're crazy people. We love doing things like this, you know. Otherwise, it's not exciting. My first car was a Mercedes 500. I love those cars, and I've got 4 of them. Hopefully, this year I'll pull one out. Next year I'll put one out every year, hopefully. But yeah, it's just old school everything. Like You know, Jap cars, we've been working on a few Jap cars, a few Evos. Yeah, we'll be putting out all different type of cars, you know. Big variety, that's the whole thing. If you put out the same thing every time, you get bored of it, you know. Mate, we're just masking up the car, getting ready for underbody. So we don't get oversprayed over the car. That's right, we are putting the underbody because if we don't, and it's just a shiny surface, we're gonna get scratched because you're gonna be in and out of the car all the time. It gives better protection, better grip. Well, mostly the floor area will be all underbody, but we are going to put colour over it, the house colour in Galaxy Grey, and the rest of the tubs and all the roll cage will be all clear coated. Wait till you see what happens next.